Buddhism began 2,500 years ago here in India. It was one of my dreams, or it was in my bucket list to visit this country, to walk the same steps that Siddhartha took when he too was looking for answers. As I explore searching for answers to the meaning of life and death, will I be guided towards the same answer that Siddhartha found thousands of years ago?
I feel my skin connected with the universe. I can turn on
The search begins for Siddhartha when he saw old, sick, dead at each direction outside of his castle. He could not understand the reason we humans had to go through so much pain and suffering. I too, looking at this land, beginning to realize that there are so many inequalities between the different things. The first thing I noticed is that dogs are treated very terrible, roaming around the country searching for scraps of food. Puppies are born even though there are not enough food for the parent dogs either. Throughout the country, I see children and old beggars begging me for food and money. Are these puppies and humans born to this world only to suffer? Was there a purpose for them to be born into this world? Then on another spectrum, I see cows walking across the road and all over the street. They seem to be living as freely as possible. If they want to cross the busy street, even humans would stop to let them go, as they are sacred animals to the Hindu. I have never seen animals being served first, even at the cost of humans being sacrificed. Then it comes clear that this is the reason why in Hinduism the caste system was the answer to this inequality of this world. This is what Siddhartha saw when he stepped out of his castle, making him search for answers to what is life and how we can escape from this suffering. In order to reach the conclusion of the Buddha, I visited key sites of Siddhartha's journey. The first on the journey is a cave, but this is not an ordinary cave on a mountain hill. So right now we're heading to the cave. This is where Siddhartha and 5 other companions shared 6 years of their life meditating under ascetic practice of eating just enough to survive. After 6 years of pain here in this cave, they decided to change completely. They climbed down the mountain, arriving at a village near the river. Today this village is known as Sujata village, coming from the name of the girl who gave milk porridge to Siddhartha. Siddhartha ate, receiving the food. Seeing Siddhartha eating became the promise that the 6 of them made, no eating until they reach enlightenment. The 5 companions left Siddhartha in disappointment. After his body had recovered, he left the village walking across the river, arriving at Bodh Gaya, and found a nice Bodhi tree to sit under. He meditated for days until one day, as if the clouds of the sky cleared up, he was enlightened, becoming Buddha, the awakened one. I sat under the Bodhi tree, imitating what Siddhartha did 2,500 years ago. Here, from dawn to dusk, monks, nuns, and Buddhists from all over the world come to sit under the Bodhi tree, hearing the birds chirping and singing, the breeze sweeping past you bringing cool air, and seeing ants and other insects walking across you. You realize that you are only one small being in this world, yet inside you are the entire universe. We often search for answers to our problem outside, letting ourselves getting controlled by the external force. But when you realize that it is your emotion that is causing you to feel in such ways, you realize that the answer to the problem was always there inside of you. Self-discipline is the key, and that also means that inside of you, you have the power to control the whole universe. He heard that his companions were near the town of Varanasi in Sarnath. I visited the ancient ruin of Sarnath, where it is said that this is where Buddha gave his first sermon, and there were only 5 companions that he trained together and a bunch of deers that would listen to what he said. But soon the 5 companions realized that Siddhartha had truly become an awakened one, and immediately decided to become his disciple. Reunify, a retreat during the dry season. Here in India, temperatures can reach way above 40 degrees Celsius or 104 degrees Fahrenheit. A dreadful world. When you are under the tree, especially surrounded by bamboo, your 5 senses can trick you to think that you are in a cool oasis. Soon, I realized, as you sit meditating, hearing the sound when the warm breeze shaking the leaves of the bamboo, rubbing against one another, making you think it's much cooler than you are. Buddha and his Sangha probably sat here as well, feeling the same in order to concentrate on the meditation practice. This place is called the Gurida Kutta, also known as the Vulture's Peak. Okay, I hope I'm getting close. Hope this is the fork that you go between going down home and the other going to this monument here. Buddha gave certain sermons such as the Heart Sutra and the Lotus Sutra to his followers. Stories tell that even King Bimbisara climbed the mountains to hear his sermon. And finally, I headed to the ancient university. It is said that this is the oldest university in the world. Here many monks and scholars study Buddhism. Even Sanzo Hoshi, the main character in the story Journey to the West, studied here. He was a Chinese monk and a scholar traveled far to the distant land to seek for the true teaching. In his works, he translated many sutras, and amongst the famous are the Heart Sutra. Here at Nalanda, thousands of monks train and study at the same time. It is said that there were over 5,000 monks and nuns studying at one particular time. I was fortunate to have been able to see the room that Sanzo Hoshi had stayed, and just like how he prayed each day, I also tried the same. There is one miracle that exists in this place, and that is the 8-stem pine tree. Normally, pine trees only have one stem that goes from the bottom to the top. But here you will see one that's split into 8, representing each of the 8 teachings of the Eightfold Path. As my journey comes to an end soon, I wanted to visit one last place, the Ganges River, the mother of all, where life and death exist together. Here at the Ganges, you have the mortuary burning the dead all day. It takes 3 to 4 hours for the body to fully burn to ashes, which then they would take the ashes to the river, returning the body to Mother Ganga. What's really interesting is that next to that mortuary, you see young and old jumping into the river, doing laundry and bathing. No one seemed to care that there are human ashes or bodies floating as they do their business. To them, life and death are nothing out of the ordinary. In countries that are developed, we often try to hide death and only show death in a beautiful way. That makes us think that death is indifferent from our life, yet it's something that lurks behind us from the moment we are given life in our mother's womb. As I walk into this river, I feel connected and protected by the mother of all, bringing me back to my question of what life is. I came to my conclusion that Siddhartha saw injustice and inequality in this world, and the only way to find meaning in life is to understand self. The answer may be simpler than I expected. It was, I don't know. We are born into this world thinking that we need to accomplish something big, or to search for happiness, or to love another being. But the truth is that we don't need an answer to live happy, or have a purpose in life. If we are hung up in such a question, we will forget to enjoy life and live the moment. This also recalls the Zen story between Bodhidharma and the emperor. When the emperor asks Bodhidharma, "Who are you?" he answers, "I don't know." As Siddhartha sat under the Bodhi tree, he probably realized that this world is just too full of suffering, and trying to find a way to avoid that suffering is just wasting your valuable life and time. I found, going through India, that getting out into the world and enjoying life is probably what Siddhartha was trying to tell me. Telling all of us, stop thinking about your purpose. Because when you get caught up thinking about those questions, you end up chasing after the answers, never being able to enjoy that moment, the one life that you have in this world.
Hey, thank you very much for watching my India trip, and I'll see you again later. Bye.